Hey, all the lovely people. Welcome to the Limitless show, the episode 35. And I welcome you from everywhere the LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and the Limitless tribe. I hope you are doing well on the middle of this week. And you know what? When I started this show, I had an idea of, what I wanted to bring to this table. But some things are there in your hands, and the rest of the things I feel are taken care of by the divine. And I feel as if he has taken it in his hands, and the way it is expanding and the kind of guests I'm getting on the show, my own context has expanded multifold. And I hope that's the same thing that has been happening with you. Thank you for all your love. Today the guest is she is phenomenal. She is been doing tremendous work. Dr. Anu Mehta is the chair lady and the member of board of directors for Meta Health International. She is also the first master trainer for Meta Health, and not only that, she is also the first master trainer for matrix reimprinting and advanced clearing energetics. And she is the doctor of philosophy from the Complementary Medicines Colombo, Sri Lanka, the Open University over there. She's also an author and international speaker. She has won many accolades for her work in meta health since 2014. And in fact, in 2017, she has been doing phenomenal work. She assists in healing people by identifying the stress which causes physical illness or psychological illness. During COVID 19, she has been able to organize more than 700 talks. Can you beat that? Over 1.5 years with speakers from across the world on Zoom. And she's a regular speaker for Get Set Up, Joining Hands, and Health Library. There's so much more. I can go on and on and on, but let us bring her on so we can get to know more about her from her own mouth. With a warm round of applause, let's bring her on. Thank you so much, Dr. Anu Mehta. Thank you for joining us here. It's a great honor to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anshu. Thank you. Really mean it.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Anu Mehta, why don't you tell us your journey as to, how you got into all the things you are doing such a phenomenal and tremendous work. What has your journey been like? How did you end up doing all these things? Would you like sharing that with us?
Sure, Anshu. Actually, I didn't think and get into anything. I wasn't having a planned journey. As the first child of the family and coming from a family where girls don't go out and work. So very interestingly, I'm getting to know more and more about my mom's side of the family because that was predominantly the family that had more hold over me than my dad's family. Because by the time my dad and mom got married, my dad really didn't have a family as such. His
Mm-hmm.
mom expired when he was just two, and his dad expired much before my mom and dad got married. So
Okay.
the influence of their family or his family on me was very limited, if you can call it. But
Mm-hmm.
interestingly, I got married into the family that belonged to him. So it's almost like the first half of my life was without any influence from my dad's side. But I would say last 30 years, I've been married for 29 years. There's been enough influence of my mom's side, of my dad's side on me. Now, like I said, I didn't have a thought pattern, and I created what I created. I didn't even think I was creating it. So way back when I was 6 years of age, I was sexually touched by a man who was old enough to be my grandfather. And did I understand what was happening to me? No. Did I remember it? Actually, I kind of shut it off from my head. And many years later, when I was living in Czech Republic, is when all this memory kind of walked back and moved into my space. And the space that I was in, um, it's like one fine day I didn't have a memory. I knew something was not okay. And I went to study in Czech Republic from Carl Dawson, who's my mentor for matrix imprinting EFT. And
Hmm.
he did some work on me, and my memory came back.
Okay.
And yeah, and with the memory coming back, my whole world changed.
Right.
I suddenly went into the space of who am I? Why am I here? Oh my God, this happened to me. Now I understand so much about myself. And when I called up my mom said, "Don't tell your husband." I already had two children by then. I was living in
Right.
Czech Republic. I was 40 years of age, and my mom still expected me to hide where I had already hidden this big secret of mine under the layers of my consciousness. It it,
Right.
it was so deep seated, and because she said किसी को बताना नहीं, तो मैंने I sat down and screamed loudly, told everybody, including Vikram, waiting for him to throw me out. Well, that's where my journey started. I started
Right.
exploring life in a different way. So this is what kick-started my belief in God, universe, healing, understanding, and then it's been 21 years of studies, right
Wow.
from 2001 to 2021. We are right now. I've been educating myself from the best and every day. So that's a short journey of a very long space of mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, how, I mean, when the memory came back to you, what helped you basically, as they call it, like scratch that imprint? Because I'm sure it would have otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to become the person you have become. So, what helped you scratch that layer of memory in such a way that I mean, you got yourself empowered rather than being in the victim mode?
I think there was a lot of anger, Anshu. Huge amount of anger with my mom because she said, "Kisi ko batana nahi, don't tell
Right.
anyone." And to be really honest, I'm also thinking as you're asking me because this is not a question ever asked to me. Um, and I think somewhere Vikram, my husband, standing by me at that time and not throwing me out, uh, made me believe that there is more to what my mom is saying.
Right.
She's coming from her space. God bless her. I'm off my anger today with her, especially on this account. At least I've sorted it. But it kick-started a question mark in my life. Is it my fault? Am I a victim? Can I empower myself? And with
Right.
me, I know that our country, when I open the newspaper, a 3-month-old baby gets raped here, 81-year-old gets raped here.
Yes.
So it's not about sex, it's something else. And I do understand that this calls for a lot of mental health awareness, a
Yes.
lot of going inside your own cobwebs and looking at it and understanding something's happened to you. And one sentence that Caroline Dawson, who is Carl Dawson's sister, said, and we use that in Matrix Reimprinting, it happened then, it's not happening now.
Yes.
It happened then, it's not happening now. And if it's not happening now, I'm not going to behave as if it's happening now. And to my surprise, if it happens now, will I be able to deal with it? I don't think so. Just because I revived memory and just because I sat down and spoke about it, just because I educated myself, does not mean that you've become, how do you say, immune to it. And to be really honest, Anshu, then is a Meta Health family that stood by me, very solid. Johannes Fischlinger, who was the ex-president of Meta Health, he at one point said to me, "Why don't you talk about it in our conference?" And Bruce Lipton was part of that conference. It was a tele summit ages back, And when I first spoke about sexual abuse, I had anger that
Right.
walked out of my space. And
Right.
anger was not used by me to put myself down. The anger was used by me to kind of use it like a cover around me. I don't know what I was doing with it. It was like I was playing with that anger. I was playing with the fire, right?
Right.
Then now, much later, when in 2014, I was standing at the stage of Salihal, which is where the conference of Meta Health happened. And I also
Mm-hmm.
directed a small movie, which was a 3-minute movie called Unheard Screams, and
Mm-hmm.
presented my case for the first time of what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought that I'm a brown girl in the white world, and they tomato फेंकेंगे and they will throw me off the stage. And I still remember, clad in my salwar kameez, I stood there feeling that was going to end and everything was going to be just very chaotic. I had 40 minutes of people sitting in silence, hearing me out, understanding. They had tears with me, they laughed with me, they cried with me, and they came and walked up. There were so many women who walked up to me and said, "Thank you for opening your mouth because what you said resonates with me, with me, with me, with me, with me." And there was no looking back after that. So I have only gratitude to give to my family, my primary family. Even if my mom said don't say, I wish she had not said anything else, because she said don't say, the fire just walked up and said you have to say. And I never stopped saying it, because I don't know whose story is sitting over there deep underneath, buried in the state of silence and calmness. There may be something that they need to, it is exploding inside. Rather than
Right.
it exploding in the form of a disease, if it can come out and you can verbalize it, why not? Why not?
You never know. I mean, yeah, at least seeing you as an example, it would have given the strength to thousands and probably lakhs of women out there that yes, we can speak up. It's not like every husband is like that who will go ahead and dump you. There are men who are understanding, and in the society it's happening with most of the women. So I think it's time that we just come out and not remain in our I think shadows, the shadows of the past anymore.
I would also like to say this, Anshu, when it's happening to you, and when it was, I was breaking my silence. To be really honest, there were many, many times when I felt as if people were not supportive, including my husband, including my family. I didn't think they were supportive, including my mental health family. You know why? Because when you start opening your mouth, you're the first person judging you.
True.
Until you do not believe in yourself, stand up for yourself. It's not about putting your vulnerability, just putting your vulnerability out there. It's about people on the other side stand and say, like very beautifully a friend of mine said, ऐसा तुम्हारे साथ क्या हुआ? So क्या हुआ? अगर इतना common है, what if it's so common? What's the big deal? Why are you talking about it and why should I hear? ऐसा तुम्हारे साथ ही क्या हुआ?
But isn't that ridiculous? ऐसा तुम्हारे साथ क्या हुआ में there is a hidden meaning that it should happen. Then it should go on happening with every woman out there, and no one should speak out. That's what it also hidden, implies.
Anshu, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not about only breaking your silence.
Yeah.
It's about cracking your identity at the end of the day.
Yes.
It's about rebuilding yourself at every step.
Yes. It is. It is.
And when you start really building yourself like this,
Hmm.
there will instances will come back in your life where there will be repetition of the past coming back. How will you handle yourself then? And what will you do at that point? And at every step, you have to just breathe and tell yourself, you know what? I get it. Maybe it's happening again. Maybe a friend of yours who you were very, and that did happen to me. It's not maybe, it really did happen to me way back, 3 years back, when a friend of mine who I was traveling with thought it was absolutely okay for him to um, indulge in kissing me, and that wasn't something that I really wanted. So it's about you not seeing that other person, you trusting that other person so much that you can't believe that that other person can cross a line and think that just because you sat down and laughed with someone and had fun with someone that they could get into uh, practically your bed, and that's not okay,
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
right? And it's not just about, it's not just about you forgiving people. It's about how Niyati Shah, who is a sexuality specialist, says it's about teaching people sexual manners. You don't sit in a restaurant and go to someone else's plate and eat food from their plate, do you?
No, absolutely not.
There are boundaries.
There are boundaries. Of course, there are boundaries.
And if someone is sharing with you their deepest stuff, or even not that, it's so common that you're traveling in a train and someone will try to put their little foot or their hand and touch you. It's so
Yes.
common.
So common. So common this is. Absolutely.
And I'm sure it's also very common if you think you can speak and others will hear and you will change lives of thousands and millions, stop there. We thousands and millions closed our ears, closed our eyes, sat down and said, okay, now close your eyes and do forgiving. I hope you get my point.
Yes,
You have
I
to,
do.
at the end of the day, if you want to move forward, and there is nothing called empowerment because it's got the word called power, and the minute you have power, you misuse it. Okay.
Yes.
So I really believe it's about living every day and living your truth and being okay with it, not making
Yes.
more of it or less of it. I'm okay with it today.
Yes.
Have I forgiven the person at 51 who I'm 54 today? Have I forgiven that person? To be really honest, it doesn't matter in my life. I don't want any harm happening to him ever, not because I want to protect him. I'm very clear it's not. It brought up things for me which was still lying underneath, buried, which I would have never dealt with had he not come in my life. So a deep gratitude for him too, for coming in my life and challenging that I was talking so deeply and wanting to protect so many people, blah blah blah, and do sorry, दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद को जय करे. He taught me very
Yes.
beautifully that none of what I had studied was going to hold me together. You know what was going to hold me together? Is giving myself a lot of love and
Yes.
telling me again, you're not a victim. It's not happening now.
Yes.
It happened then.
Yes. So beautiful. So beautiful, Anu. Thank you so much for sharing this. I think, that this was a very, very powerful message. I hope anyone and everyone who's watching this, who has been a victim of anything, they should understand what it is about, and it's their truth and how they need to live that truth and still be empowered, still be that powerful person who stacks up their strength one upon the other and lives it. Thank you so much. So this also brings me to my next question, that I think in your 700 talks that you did in the last 1.5 years, I think this was sexual awareness, or this was also one of the topics. So how were you about to go ahead and generate this kind of a thing? What were the tools that you used, or I mean, what was it that you did to create
So
it?
I'll be very honest. In 2008, when the financial meltdown happened, um, my husband was in the banking industry in the Citibank,
Right.
and banking industry went through a complete meltdown with an economic meltdown. We were
Mm-hmm.
in Czech Republic at that point, and
Mm-hmm.
God bless him because when I look back, I'd be very honest again. I don't think I understood what he went through. I understood and probably held my fears where I felt financially I'm going to be floating now. What will I do? I was living in the world's most beautiful house. My kids were going to the best international school. I was living in this life in heaven, literally in a heaven with my two children, beautiful house, beautiful school. I was driving myself. My husband was is someone at that point, someone who I looked up at completely, and I really feel I did not understand the trauma that he went through. With
Right.
him, he being, and that I understand now. At that point, I thought I really did understand him, and
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to right now, the COVID happening, it felt that the same thing had come back again to haunt many people. What I had felt long back. Financially, 70% of the people across the globe, the industry had come down to a standstill and there were no jobs.
Yes.
People didn't have anything moving. Forget jobs, income coming in. Your incomes were slashed down. And you know
Right.
what? Money gets slashed down, your responsibilities do not get slashed down. Your
Absolutely.
responsibilities are the same. You need to get a smile on your face. Your wife is looking up at you because you told her you can look up at. Your children are looking up at you because you
Yes.
told them, I am your breadwinner, I will take care of you. And
Yes.
they look at you, and if your face is fallen, then they feel the floating exactly the way that I felt back in time. And
Right.
that I understood that when this COVID happened, that people are going to be in a very difficult place. Did I have a plan? No. And at the same time, I got a call from a 24-year-old or a 25-year-old brother of, he's the brother of my friend, and he called me up and said, I'm getting anxiety, I feel I'm having a heart attack. You know, the dhaba that we are running is shut down, my father is not earning. And I went back in my memory lane to 2008, and it suddenly struck me he's not the only one. I called up the
Yes.
girl who used to help me and said, what can we do? This is from where it started. I didn't know how to run the Zoom, so we started with that 30-minute Zoom call. Nobody was even dressed up. We didn't have lights, nothing. We were just talking. So I think 18th of March is when the close down happened again, opened up, and 24th was in a complete shutdown again.
Right.
Between this time, we had already created a call of Zoom, which was at 9:30 at night, just randomly that time because everybody had finished eating. There were no maids, no help, no, nothing, and we had started for the students, and I didn't know how to put it on the Facebook, so it was just a Zoom session where students were coming in and whoever else wanted to come. The invite would go on the Facebook, and whoever else wants to come in,
Right.
and that just created a rhythm. Somebody donated to me the Zoom connection, somebody did something, and it organically grew till we had roped in the speakers from across the continents. We had every continent, every person who came over there was an expert, was willing to give. None of the people have charged me a penny, and all I did was donate my time, and
Right.
a lot of people opened their businesses from that forum. Lot of stuff happened, and it's still continuing. And then I came across that setup, which is empowering the elders of the population, the adults.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a journey. It grew organically. I think it came from a space like you say, आपको कुछ करना था, मुझे कुछ करना था, क्या
Right.
करना था मुझे मालूम,
Right.
इतना मालूम था कि people are crying, and
Right.
I had my skill that I could have given to them, expertise that I
True.
could have given to them. बस वहां से शुरू हुआ, and when it went to 700 talks and this talks and that talks, I have no idea. जो आता चला गया, I
That's it.
thought God has sent it for me. Like you called me up and said, let's do a
Yes.
talk. Last week I've done 20 talks. I
Beautiful.
counted it and I told myself, आराम से, इतना भी मत भागो,
Go slow.
इतना भी मत भागो. So जब आप अंशु किसी चीज को बस गॉड का ग्रैटिट्यूड समझ के आप उसको आगे चलते हो ना और सोचते नहीं हो, तो वो चीज अपने आप बढ़ती है, ग्रो
होती
होती है.
है. True. And if your intentions are pure, I have seen that, actually सारी बागडोर भगवान अपने हाथ में ले लेते हैं and things just go. You just become an instrument in doing it.
Like Osho says, don't do it, let it happen.
Let it happen.
Let it
So
happen.
beautiful. That is
Don't
faith and
think,
surrender.
let it
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
Then you don't think, you don't plan, you let it happen.
Yes. So true.
So you're not doing anything. You just let it
Yes.
happen.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens.
Right. We have a comment from Damini Luthra. She says, "Ma'am, but fears never leave us." It's about the last thing that we spoke about, all the, living your truth and everything. Do you want to say something to her?
ऐसे है ना, अपनी आंखें हैं, आंसू तो आएंगे. ऐसे थोड़ी ना मैंने रोना बंद कर दिया.
True.
और आंसू एक गिफ्ट है ना, गॉड ने दिया आपको. You do not see tears in the eyes of many animals. तुमको दिए हैं, enjoy it. पर अगर आप ये बोलो कि दुख आपने कंटिन्यू किया, दुख और रोने में बहुत फर्क होता है बस. In fact, medically, it is proved that when you cry, you actually secrete hormones in your body which help you to kill the pain. So, आंसू अच्छे हैं. दुख अंदर भर के रखना अच्छा नहीं.
अच्छा नहीं है.
आपको पत्थर नहीं बनना है, बह जाना है. अगर आंसू आ रहे हैं, no problem. I don't see it as a problem.
Exactly. And Damini also, when there is fear, that is the opportunity for you to face that fear. And जब आप अपने fear को face करते हो, that's the time it disappears. जब तक आप उससे बचते हुए घूमते रहोगे, it will keep, haunting you. The moment you face it, it disappears. Try doing that.
बिल्कुल ठीक कह रही हो अंशु. From that, I will just give a small example. I used to be someone who was petrified of dogs. Petrified मतलब it was not just dog, it could be rat, rabbit, anybody. तो मतलब अगर सामने से एक छोटा सा पपी, इतना छोटा सा पपी आ रहा है, and I would be somewhere else. Today I have
And
a
now you have Luna.
golden retriever in my house and she sleeps with me. वाकई सही
Wow.
कहा है. एक्चुअली डर नहीं भाग जाता, आप उसी चीज से प्यार करने लगते.
Exactly. That truly happens.
यस.
डर
एंड
से
देन
जब तक डरो वो आपको डराता है.
यस, क्योंकि आपने उसे पहचाना ही नहीं है.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
सामने वाला
So,
डर भी प्यार ही मांग रहा है आपसे.
हाँ.
Yes.
So I'll get into a bit of, what you do with meta health, since, we do not know. So what is meta health all about and how does it help people?
बहुत सिंपल है अंशु. मेटा मीन्स अबव और हेल्थ का मतलब आपको मालूम है. इसका मतलब हुआ अबव वॉट एवर यू अंडरस्टूड अबाउट हेल्थ. हेल्थ के बारे में क्या कहा जाता है कि तुम खाना ठीक से खाओ, एक्सरसाइज करो, तुम अपना ध्यान रखो, सुबह जल्दी उठो, प्राणायाम करो, एंड यू विल बी फाइन.
Right.
कोई आपको ये नहीं कहता कि जब दुख आता है तो उसका भी ध्यान रखना है.
कोई नहीं कहता है.
कोई नहीं कहता है. और कोई नहीं ये कहता है कि imagine करो that you're sitting down and you're eating food and then you get an information that someone is met with an accident. अब जब आपको ये पता लगा कि someone is met with an accident, क्या आपका दिल करेगा खाना खाने का?
True.
और फिर भी हम पूछते हैं यार, साइकोलॉजी के साथ बायोलॉजी कनेक्टेड है क्या? तो I am someone who helps you to find out why you have a disease, what is the why behind the disease, how long the disease will stay, उसका करना क्या है, what is where did it start. क्योंकि डिजीज उस समय नहीं स्टार्ट होता जिस समय हम डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं.
Right.
Disease by itself means not at ease.
Right.
I'm also someone who will find out what is it that you were not comfortable with at the time
Right.
when the problem happened. And
Right.
आप एक्सपर्ट है अपने डिजीज में, बट आई एम एन एक्सपर्ट एट पिकिंग अप लाइक शर्लॉक होम्स कि घर में चोरी हुई, तो आपने इन्वेस्टिगेटर को बुलाया, बोला चोर कौन है? हाँ, चोर वायरस है कि बैक्टीरिया है? मेरा काम है कि ये कहना कि वायरस और बैक्टीरिया अपना काम कर रहे हैं, पता नहीं चोर हैं कि नहीं, बट आई विल हेल्प यू टू आइडेंटिफाई कि चोरी हुई कैसे, कितनी देर के लिए रहेगी, और वो चोरी आपकी हेल्थ की हुई है, वो कितनी देर हुई, क्यों हुई, कैसे हुई। इट्स अ वेरी स्पिरिचुअल एट द एंड, क्योंकि अगर आप ये समझ जाओ ना कि जितना आपको अपने आप को प्यार देना जरूरी है, उतना आपके रिश्तों को प्यार देना जरूरी है। वी आर लिविंग अ वेरी inauthentic life. At least 50% of the people are into the marriages that they don't want to be in. They are existing,
Absolutely. So
waiting for
true.
a day to come when life will end. We are
Yes.
not living lives full of life.
Yes.
Every third day I hear people telling me मुझको नहीं जीना है.
Right.
You really think that's not going to impact your physical health? जब
Definitely, it
आप
is going to affect. No doubt.
जब आप
वैसे भी
खुश हो,
isn't it true, Anu, that I mean, I think 90 to 95% of the diseases are psychosomatic, and psychosomatic means that.
अ, वैसे तो ब्रूस लिप्टन जो बायोलॉजिस्ट हैं, उन्होंने एक एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था, और उसके बाद
Hmm.
उन्होंने ही स्टॉप टीचिंग बायोलॉजी इन द नॉर्मल कॉलेजेस.
Okay.
So what he did was he was in stem cell research, and he found that the same stem cell, when put in a different petri dish, could be made into muscle cell. The same stem cell could be converted into nerve cell. The same cell could be converted into something else. And he said, "Yeah, cells तो वही हैं. How come मैंने क्या change किया इसमें?" He had
Hmm.
given the cells different environments and different cultures.
Okay.
With just giving different environment and different cultures, he was able to create from stem cells various cells which then could be utilized back again. So basically उनका कहना है कि अगर हमारी environment में problem है, तो life में problem है.
Hmm.
Environment में problem नहीं है, तो genes भी put on नहीं होंगी. So the genes also come on, uh, are switched on when the environment is toxic, and that is what will then aggravate those genes. So, for an
Right.
example, he did experiments on twins, identical twins, and
Mm-hmm.
the two identical twins, they didn't take, they basically saw that identical twins who by chance were growing in different two families.
Okay.
And identical twins, so the biological data is absolutely the same. The
Okay.
genes amount is absolutely the same. And yet, when they were growing in two different families, the diseases that they created were absolutely different.
Oh.
And at the same time, when the pets are taken into your house,
Hmm.
it's often found that the pets get the same diseases as you do. How can that happen?
Okay.
It's because
Wow. Hmm.
you brought the pet into your environment, fed him the same food, gave him the
Right.
same information, gave him the same anger or same love, gave him the same temperament. It's the same
Right.
environment. And
Right.
with that, your pet picks up your diseases, and we say, "Oh, मेरा pet ने ना मेरी disease ले ली, मुझसे बहुत प्यार करता है." अबे वो तुमसे प्यार नहीं करता है, तुमने उसको सेम एनवायरनमेंट दे दी, तो जो तुम क्रिएट कर रहे थे वो उसने भी क्रिएट कर लिया. So the
Right.
environment, nurture and nature. So the environment is extremely, extremely, extremely important. And that
Right.
is why we really need to look at what kind of environment are we living in. Why do you
Right.
think COVID happened to so many? Because we were living in similar competitive environments full of
Yes.
pollution and toxins.
Yes. So
So
true.
yeah. So the environment is far more important, and what we do in Meta Health is we pick up what in your environment could have created what you're doing. Right up to
Right.
you look at the diet, you look at the yoga, you look at the emotions, you look at the events that are happening. So it's not just one thing. And then what needs to be tweaked.
Right.
So give you an example. 2 days back, a gentleman walked in who has got lung cancer. And his doctors obviously have told him he's got lung cancer. There is no cure for it. Practically, he can either go for immunotherapy, or there is something else, or they will then decide whether he can go in for chemotherapy or not, but there is no surgery.
Right.
Now, what does such a person do? Wait for dying? So when you question, you realize that the person goes back to the time when he was just a kid, and his though he was the second one, he says, I was the backbone of the family. I carried the load of the whole family. I am the backbone of the family, and I am the decision maker of the family. And he very proudly says, oh, people in my building, he's almost about 70 years of age. People in my building call me a Hitler, and he's proud of that because he is able to do work. And he's not, and he feels incomplete when he can't give someone whatever they have demanded him to do, make it 100% and give. So I said, what about COVID? He says, COVID was one time when I couldn't complete everything that I wanted because everything was shut down. And this probably is one of the reasons, because he has a strong story going on in his story that he has to complete everything 100% and give it to someone. That's about his basic survival. That's about how he survives everything. If he cannot do, he looks down at himself. He doesn't
Right.
feel strong. He feels
Worthy
helpless,
enough.
vulnerable. Yes.
Yes.
And lungs are all to do with vulnerability. So,
Oh,
yes. Moving
amazing,
there. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
What
Yes.
an eye opener, actually.
So that
How,
was.
with our stories, we create these diseases.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even the words that we use are amazing. And the minute he kept saying, I'm the backbone, and I looked at him and said, oh, as long as you are alive, you will not let anybody else have a backbone. And he looks at me and says, how true, my son has a back problem.
Whoa.
And I just looked up at him and said, wow, how old is your son? He is 40, but he's not like me. He doesn't do things like me. Why should the whole world do things like you do?
So true.
Why should you be the yardstick that
By which
people
everyone else is measured.
and living their life?
Yes.
So if you can't look at yourself as a yardstick by which others can live their life, you have fallen in your own eyes, and you'll suffocate to death before looking at your identity in any other way.
Yes. So
It's
true.
not funny. It's not funny.
Mind blowing. So, when I actually heard about this Matrix reimprinting, it put me back into the Matrix movie. So, something to do with all the same, the cultural, the Matrix, the environment, and all the stories and the reimprinting
Absolutely.
that happens.
Absolutely. So Carl, a lot of people think it's inner child work.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when we are little, like maybe in mother's womb, maybe later, and maybe even yesterday, something happened. So let's assume something happened that was very difficult for you to absorb. It was unexpected, it was dramatic, it
Mm-hmm.
was completely isolating, and you had no plan how to deal with the shock that came. Let's say COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody went through it. The world came to a standstill,
Yes.
and that was a shock. That shock happens. How do you deal with the shock? You deal with the shock by splitting off from yourself. And how do you
Mm-hmm.
split off from yourself? So a part of your psyche just splits off and freezes. Why does it freeze? Because a part of your psyche that freezes off is called your inner child. It's a
Okay.
dissociated part of you.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you will not be able to deal with the shock. So, whether you were in a state of this, what do I do? For a minute, 10 minutes, that part of you now is dissociated from you because it doesn't feel anything. It
Right.
doesn't let you feel a lot of things. So Carl Dawson realized that when he was, so EFT is a tapping technique.
Right.
You tap,
Right.
and the tapping is done on the meridians. It is,
Yes.
and when we tap on the meridians, it's unblocking the emotions. And what he realized was he was doing traditional tapping on this woman, and suddenly she said, "Oh, I can see myself at 6 years of age."
Okay.
And he said, "Okay, why don't you go and tap on that 6 year old?"
Okay.
So, in her imagination, she went and tapped on that 6 year old. And she said, "But the 6 year old is telling me to do this, this, and this." So he said, "Why don't you do it?" And he kept tapping on that, tap on that 6 year old. Now, it's that dissociated part of you that he's asking you to tap on at the age where the dissociation happened. And he found that she was able to sort out her conflicts faster than anything else. She
Wow.
suddenly said, "Oh, everything is okay. Now I can understand. Now that I have done this, it's fine." And he realized that more and more people he was working with, they could see themselves, they could hear themselves, they could feel themselves, they could smell themselves. Because a lot of people can't see, they can hear themselves. And he would just say, "Go hold that little child." That is, how old is that child? How, he wouldn't even call it the child. How old is that echo? Echo is the um, is the hologram of the energy present over there.
Right.
And yes, it's a matrix. So all the information about us is present in a soup, in the
Right.
energy soup of this world. In fact,
Right.
family constellations, which is another modality, works on this. So I can sit here and not knowing you do the whole family constellation for you, where I could have about 10 people in the room, ask someone to be your husband, ask someone to become like you, ask someone to be your mother, ask someone to be your father. And interestingly, if you're sitting there, you will find that those people are creating a matrix or a pattern over there which is identical to what your parents are. And it's
Wow.
mind blowing. How does that happen? And
Wow.
similar matrix happens when you're walking back in time and you're working with this kid. Everything for you in present changes. That is, in fact, the therapy that he had done for me, in which I realized that I was sexually abused. So he
Right.
asked me to tap myself at that 6 year old. And that 6 year old only wanted to kill this man. And what did he do? He said, "Okay, let's allow. It's not generally allowed. You can't even in your dreams say go and kill. But I just
Yes.
wanted to kill this person, and he's not even alive. He's not even alive. He died about, I don't know how many years back.
Right.
Oh, do what you need to do."
Right.
And the child, it's an incomplete process. Something that you couldn't complete back in time, now you're completing that process. And
Now,
with
later
some
on.
later on. So how do we say, "Oh, it's not happening now," but in your mind, it's happening right now? If I bring back the trauma that was going on ages back, it doesn't feel like it's happening then. It feels like it's happening now.
Now. Now.
And
Yes.
and you are then completing the process for that younger you now, in the present, even if that incident has happened 30 years back.
Right.
And that changes, because if a little child was sitting in a train and you made him sit in the train for the first time, and the platform, the train starts moving and the child says, "Oh my god, the platform is moving, mom."
Yes.
And the mom is saying, "No beta, the platform is not. Now the trees are also moving." No, it's a train moving.
The train is
The child
moving.
can't grapple it. We are
Right.
children. We can't grapple, we can't hold what is the real reality. For
Right.
that child, if he gets a trauma at that time, the platform was moving. So when you
Right.
go back and you work on the whole story, the child begins to understand that platform नहीं move कर रहा है. अब तो मैं train में कितनी बार जा आया हूँ. So okay, now I get it.
Right.
And with that getting it, everything changes. I
Wow.
hope I've made you understand that
Yes. Yes.
it is a matrix in which we are working.
It's
Matrix of
amazing.
matrix of This universe has all the information of past, present, and the future. All the gadgets that will be created before and after are already set in this universe. Everything is there. We just have to retrieve the information back. Like taking information back from an old laptop to the new laptop, or keeping it in the hard disk, something like that.
Superb. I mean, I think our mind is itself is like that universal phenomenon, which if we understand and we can tackle it, then I think everything gets sorted out. Everything is there.
Everything, Anshu. I truly believe we came into this world choosing a path. Once we are inside the womb and we come out in the world, we somewhere lose our path.
Yes.
Then we learn everything that people taught us, this is right, this is wrong. And somewhere a shock comes and hits us because we are
Yes.
going in a very conditional way,
Yes.
trying to prompt a reaction from us so that we can do things differently. And when we unlearn the learnings that we have, it might be 20 years of learning, 30 years of learning and conditioning. That's
Yes.
when we actually relearn the whole programming, relearn how to walk, talk, and understand the world differently.
Yeah.
And it's superb how much can be created.
So true. So true. So, Anu, why don't you also share what is energy basically, and what does it mean? I mean, all this energy concept that we are all energy beings, and where we pass on the vibrations out, and we also absorb the vibrations around us. So, what is this whole concept about?
So there are two things. Yes, we are all energies, which means, so let me start putting it this way. Um, we are all interconnected, first of all. So all those people who say I'm independent, you really need to think again. Because if you were independent, why were you eating the food that's being cooked at home? You should have gone and first sowed the grains in the field, gone through all the hard work, grown it, cut it, chopped it, and then gone from the beginning. Your
True.
life is also not given to you by yourself. You
Yes.
grow as a byproduct of two people and their love coming together into this world. So,
Right.
can you imagine that our beginning of us is shunya, zero?
Yes.
We are microscopic in nature at that point, where two people come together, whether you're married or not married. I'm not talking here marriage, I'm talking here energies. But even before the conception happens, you know that you like this man, and the man knows he likes you. And there is a chemistry, a dance of energies happening. Even romances, energies happening.
Right.
You don't just go and make love to anyone. You just don't go make babies with anyone.
Right.
And from there is the beginning of you. And you, as a soul from wherever you are coming, has already decided and chosen your mom. And your mom is choosing her sweetheart. Okay, so coming back to Indian context where everything is, of course, um, arranged.
Right.
What happens? I mean, I've often heard my parents say, "Oh, we came together, but we learned to fall in love."
Right.
So the soul picks up and wants to be a byproduct of these two people,
Right.
okay, and wants to be brought up with these set of people. Like Krishna was born somewhere.
Right. Brought up by somewhere. Complete different environment. Yeah.
Why? Because maybe in this environment, if he was sustaining and not gone to the other environment, he wouldn't have got street smart.
Right.
Okay, we don't know. So, is everything a destiny? We're not looking at destiny here. We're looking at how beautifully from one sperm and one ova, which had energy which you couldn't even see. If you put it under the microscope, there would be millions of sperms over there. But that one dot was what created you. Aren't you
Right.
fascinated that that one dot then multiplied, 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 and your end of your life is everything again goes back into division. It's like we are nothing but cells which grew, and that cell had energy. Cell had
Right.
only life can create life.
Life can create life. So true.
So when you take a flame and you say तो बहुत छोटी सी फ्लेम है, इट डजेंट मैटर कितनी छोटे हो आप या कितनी छोटी आपके अंदर फ्लेम है, अगर आपके अंदर वो दम है तो फ्लेम के साथ फ्लेम जुड़ता चला जाएगा और बहुत बड़ी आग बढ़ जाएगी. It doesn't matter whether it's just a spark that can then light up and burn down the whole house. Depend
Right.
करता है कि आप उस एनर्जी को आग बबूला होके, that is एंगर, क्रोध में नष्ट करोगे, कि you will add and bring about something productive for other people.
Right. Will you
Everything.
illuminate the world with it or will you burn the world with it?
Yes. And are we really dead when we die? Your biochemistry still is changing inside, your body swells up. Who's doing that? The soul is out, they say.
Yes.
What's making water? What's making your body swell?
Yes.
There is biochemistry happening even then. You came from nobody and you went to being nobody. And
Yes.
even in that nobody state, your body, if you bury it, will be used to feed I don't know how many animals. If like
Yes.
parcels, you put it up for, like cheel cover ke liye. And not just that, if I burn the body like we Hindus do, it goes back into the sea, into the ocean as minerals.
Yes.
You may be
Yes.
sitting in someone's living room as a crystal.
Yes. So true.
So it's just a transformation of one energy to another. जस्ट बिकॉज ये वेपर है तो आप इसे पानी नहीं कहेंगे क्या? थोड़ा ठंडा कर दिया तो पानी हो गया, और ठंडा कर दिया तो आइस क्यूब हो गई.
आइस हो गया.
बात तो है कि वो वही पानी है,
एनर्जी
उसमें
सेम
कोई
है.
एनर्जी से.
फॉर्म्स चेंज हो जाते हैं खाली.
यस, 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 यस.
So true. So we have been getting a lot of comments, Anu. We have Anil here who says, I agree. And he says, I mean, we have Arsu who says, perfectly well said. Anil says, two people who have same vibrations or are more likely to enjoy each other's company. And nicely put forward by Dr. Anu. So people are enjoying this discussion. Thank you so much, guys, for
Thank
all
you,
your
Anil. Thank
comments.
you, everybody. Yes.
So now, Anu, do all disease symptoms have a specific cause, a specific meaning, and a process? And according to you, can all the diseases be cured without medical intervention? Like maybe anything, like maybe a heart problem, cancer, or even small things like cold and cough, which we generally, have in our day-to-day lives. Is it possible that without medical intervention, if we find out the root cause behind them, we can cure them without any medical intervention?
Okay, there were a number of questions. So could you start with the first one, please?
Yeah. So basically, the diseases, they all have symptoms. So all these symptoms, do they have a specific cause, a meaning, and a process?
Very good. So the first part is, a disease starts with you not being at ease,
Yeah, that we already discussed, right?
right? When you're not at ease, what are you not at ease? Maybe you're going to a job that you don't want to go to.
Right. Or maybe
You're
you
not
are in
at
a
ease.
relationship that you're not comfortable with.
You're not at ease.
Yes.
Something is happening. Maybe your child is handicapped. You're not at ease.
Right.
Maybe you want your mom and dad to be healthy all the time. You're not at ease.
Right.
Something is happening in your life where you are not at ease, and you have to adapt to be at ease,
Right.
because you can't run away from the situation,
Right.
you can't fight the situation,
Right.
you can't give any rishwat to make that situation disappear. So you do not have a choice but to adapt your body and your psychology. And when you adapt, that adaptation is called a disease. The symptoms are just the way of your body speaking back to you and saying, this is what is happening to you. The last bit that you spoke was very beautiful, and you said cold cough. So we'll start from there. Let's start with cough. As animals, what do we do? Do we speak? We do. We literally use the vocal cords over here not for a language. The animals
Yes.
use it to have their own language.
Yes.
Yeah. You must have also experienced that when we're looking at vocal cords, if someone comes or I put you in a room which is full of ghosts, will you be able to talk?
No. Until unless you're a daredevil.
What if I put you in a room full of relatives who are looking at you and talking rubbish about you on your face? Will you be able to talk? Will that
Mostly,
moment,
again, that depends. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
most of the times you would keep quiet.
Yes.
So, when I have kept quiet, have I completed the process of saying what I wanted to say?
No, I have not.
Very good. Now, I have not said what I wanted to say. So, now my vocal cords will make me cough to say what I want to say. But do I understand the language? I hope you're getting it.
Yes.
The
Yes.
adaptation that we make is so concealed even for ourselves. Like little children get coughs so often when their parents are fighting. Can they say anything? Not really. So, what are those kids going to do? Instead of saying anything, they're going to be probably coughing in the middle of the night, and that is when the parent is more now become one and they are giving him attention. I'm sorry.
Right. Right.
We know हम कहाँ बोल सकते हैं कहाँ नहीं बोल सकते. So
Right.
very fact हमारी हिंदी में भी said इसकी बोलती बंद कर दो.
Right.
इसकी
Yes.
बोलती बंद हो
True.
गई.
Yes.
And to be really honest, these are all incomplete processes which we try to complete. So
Yes.
disease is a adaptation and a possibility of a person completing something that they haven't completed. They're speaking in a language that you haven't understood to identify or decode. Let's take
Right.
example of cold now. How do animals find their way home? Any idea, Anshu? How
By
do
their other
animals?
senses, like sense of smell
They
and
have a sense of
smell.
shabash. So they use the sense of smell to find their way home because animals are very good at picking up the smells. In
Yes.
fact, animals choose their partner from the smell sense.
Yes. Yes.
Animals will not shit where the other animal has shit. Animals will not pee where the other animal has peed.
Okay.
Their
I didn't know
sense,
this.
okay. So we human beings go where other people have gone, and that's why we get UTI. But
Right. Right.
animals will never go and they will smell. In fact, from the smell, they know exactly how old the other animal is, whether he is in good health, bad health, or whatever.
Wow. Brilliant. Yes.
So we are animals. What are we using our nose for now? Why do we wear perfumes? So that we
छुपाने
smell
के
good.
लिए बैड स्मेल.
Okay? We
Right.
are trying to hide the deodorants, the perfumes are all there to make you feel good.
Right.
खाने को स्मेल करके आप खा के बोलते हो कि ये अच्छा था ये खराब था.
Right.
अब क्या हो अगर आपको कोई ऐसा खाना खाने को बोल दे which you are sensing is not okay.
Right. Correct.
Will you sense danger there? So cold and cough. Cold is about, nose is about sensing danger through the sense of smell. And when we feel that there is something in danger, the nose becomes even more opened inside so that you can take in more smell, so that you can escape if you have to. You get into a bathroom which is stinking, you will walk out. Why?
Right.
Because you are, there is no ghost there, there is no person,
Yes.
but there is that smell and the presence of that person left with smell which you don't want to be there. So you decide
Yes.
to walk out. Similarly, you would decide to walk out of a situation which is smelly, stinky, dirty.
Yes. Yes.
When you're out of such a situation, your nose now doesn't need to work so hard. And that is the time it will get blocked. And the next, what will happen is it will start watering and you will do, "Achoo." Why? Because you're taking off the sense of feeling in danger. So, meta health picks up each disease, whether it is in stress, whether you're in stress, there are different symptoms.
Right.
Like if you were sensing danger, your symptoms will be different. If you're not sensing danger, that means you're not in stress, then your symptoms will be different.
Right.
The symptoms change,
Right.
and with the symptoms changing, you know where exactly the person is in their life. And you can actually trace the whole disease and write down अच्छा ये कितनी देर रहेगा. तो
Right.
स्ट्रेस में ये इंसान 10 मिनट था,
Hmm.
तो ये रेस्ट में भी 10 मिनट रहेगा. और फिर अगर इसका, और 10 मिनट कैसे था, 10 मिनट उसका हस्बैंड खड़ा रहा, ही वॉज थिंकिंग एंड हस्बैंड वॉज वांटिंग हर टू मेक लव विद हिम. She is sensing that smell and that danger, and she didn't want to be anywhere close to this guy. Can she escape
Right.
him? When he
Mostly
goes,
not.
mostly not. When he
Yes.
goes, she senses a relief. She senses a relief. Her
Hmm.
nose blocks up at that time, and then next thing that happens is, so the cold. All I'm trying to tell you is it's very
Right.
interesting. Go look at the body part. What's the function of that body part? The
Right.
adaptation is on the function of the body part. There was something happening before that that was putting you in stress, and that organ was reacting.
Right.
Okay, so I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, yes, absolutely. In fact, we have Anil who says, thanks for this conversation. Anshwadi, Dr. Anu, really educative.
Thank you so
So,
much.
yes, I think it's adding a lot of value to people. So, we are actually running out of time, but I have a lot of questions that I want to ask you. So, I think if you are okay, Anu, we can extend for 10, 15 more minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you so much. So you are into loads of different healing modalities. I mean, you do pendulum dowsing also and EFT. Then I think Tibetan singing bowls. So there is so much that you do hypnotherapy. What I want to ask you is, when anyone comes to you for a therapy and you understand the person's problem, is that when you decide what modality you would need to use on that particular person and that would help him get better, or I mean, for a general person who maybe just has learned only hypnotherapy, there might be only a person who's only doing hypnotherapy. Are you more, I'm not able to put my question across very well, but then knowing all so many different modalities, is it more simple to deal with the person's problems or is it more complex?
Okay, it's just that the ingredients are the same.
Hmm.
तो बैंगन वही है, उसको चाइनीज तरीके से बना दिया कि उसको इंडियन तरीके से बना दिया. डिपेंड
Right.
करता है मेरे पास कौन आता है, उसका अगर चाइनीज टेस्ट होगा तो चाइनीज खिला दूंगी. ये मजाक कर रही हूँ. Let me come back. You need to educate yourself. That's very important, guys. One therapy is never enough. And why
Okay.
is it? Why is it never enough? Because no one person can fit into one story that you've created for yourself.
Okay.
So meta health is a diagnostic tool. Then I use art and color, which help me to diagnose
Yes,
color.
yes. Color psychology also, right.
Yes, I use a color book like this. So these colors
Right.
help me to identify what is the problem of a person. Within a split seconds, I can tell you where you are in your life, like these
Beautiful.
colors. Okay, so actually, why not do a demonstration?
I don't mind. That would be interesting.
Would it? Okay. So let me show you colors. So you have one this color, then you have blue color, and you can
That's
see the green in
indigo.
the
That's
chart.
like golden, or that's orange.
Okay, let's look here. You can see this
Hmm.
color,
Yeah.
the
Huh.
orange.
Yeah.
You can see the
Yellow.
yellow,
Huh. Hmm.
the green,
Yeah.
and the blue.
Yes.
I'm repeating again, just the four colors:
Yes.
the green,
Green, yellow,
the
orange,
yellow,
and blue.
the orange, and the blue.
Right.
These four colors. I want you to make a choice. Pick up two colors, leave two colors. उनको बोलो वेट करने को 5 मिनट वेट करने को बोलो
I'll pick up blue and green.
pick up blue and green and you will give up yellow and red.
Orange.
Yeah. So for you, honesty is very important. If you feel people are not authentic in front of you and honest in front of you, you lose interest completely. For you,
Yes.
for you, success cannot be without somebody being honest and authentic, and you can feel it in
Yeah.
your voice.
Totally. Totally.
Okay.
Very
Now,
true.
these things, these are aids which will help you to fasten the process of doing anything. Like this, we can pick up a disease and pick up what are the colors that they people choose and what kind of problems that they may have. We can actually exactly tell you that you may be at times feeling with the color selection that you've done. There are times when you lose hope altogether, Anshu, and there are times when you can be in a very sad place. So that also again with the selection of the colors that you're picking.
Right.
There has
Right.
also been instances happened in your life wherein you have felt that people have not respected you, and for you, your respect is extremely important. You are
Yes.
someone who likes to be connected and to be very, very close to people. So you
Yes.
like people. You are not a money. You're not a people deflector. You're a people attractor. You like
Yes.
nice people, and for
Yes.
you, success means connections, and at
Yes.
times you feel sad because those connections may not be as deep as you thought of them in the first place to be. And that
Yes.
could cause the problems in your life. It is not about what's happening in front of us, it is about how we perceive life in a.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
just giving you a glimpse. I also
Yes.
do a scan, which is a NES-health scan, which helps me to get all the parameters of a person. There are about 10. So it looks like this. It's a small device.
Mm-hmm.
This device can scan a human body. It's called My Health and Provision Scan. This
Mm-hmm.
device also has healing capacity in it.
Okay.
So it helps to work with various diseases and various symptoms.
Okay.
Okay, so this is NES-health work or the information medicine that I do. We also have small water valleys which are available with it, which is called information medicine, which people can take, which we believe that we are nothing but information, misjudgment, misalignment. So we need to align the information back in the body, and everything,
Mm-hmm.
the system starts functioning back.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
these are various different ideas which can be incorporated and put together. So I don't work separately, they have become part of the same identity.
Right.
Meta health
Right.
talks about brain, talks about organs, talks about adaptations. I
Right.
can't be doing, I use the scanning machine, I know exactly where the adaptation is because this machine will give me the brain layers and where the adaptations are. So I
Right.
can pick up that. I have doctors' reports already coming in, and doctors are beautiful. They've spent many, many years educating themselves. We cannot put them out of the system. Please do not sit down and try fixing someone when they need a surgery or they need medication. That's part of the system. Along
Right.
with that, what your work, what my work is to help the person not recreate the problem again.
Right.
Say
So
someone
true.
has a heart problem and they have blockages in their brain. Now you've identified why those blockages are there. and the doctors say that they do need, that person does need a stent, please go ahead and allow that person to create what the doctor is saying, but do not leave it at that. Please, after that, sit down and talk to that person and take off the cause that created it in the first place.
Right. Right.
Matrix reimprinting will go back to the time in the back to kind of clean up. Hypnotherapy will take you to the past life. And with the
Right.
matrix reimprinting, also you can go to the past life.
Right.
Some people are not the ones who will be ever looking at hypnotherapy and getting hypnotized at all. So, what do you do with them? Such nutcrackers, you have to crack it in a different way. Now, when
Right.
I'm looking at a small child, let's say a 3-year old, how do you function with that child? Maybe that person cannot even talk, so maybe the sound can help there. So
Right.
like my father, who was 70 plus at that point, and he survived till 80 plus, but for the last 9 years of his life he hardly spoke to us because he couldn't speak. We didn't know what was going on in him. So how do you
Right.
reach a person who you cannot talk with? When you cannot
Right.
talk with someone, when you cannot say something to someone, what do you
Mhm.
do then? So you have to have different therapies up in your sleeve so that you can adapt and help whoever is coming to you. Can you help
Right.
everyone? There will always be somebody who you cannot help. But then that
Okay.
person is an opportunity for you to go out and learn something else.
Right.
And
Right.
everything is an interconnection. It's a zigzag puzzle. The minute that puzzle comes together, everything has come together. So that
So
is why you
beautiful.
need so many therapies, so much of
Right.
learning. It's like I said, in 2001, I began my studies. We are in 2021. So that's 21 years of studies. Um, I do have to go for a minute. Is it possible for me to go and
Yeah,
come?
absolutely.
Thank you so much. I am so sorry about this. There's someone knocking on the door outside. There's
No,
something.
no problem, Anu.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey guys, so just hang on because I do not want to let her go because there's so much she has to share. I generally keep the show for only about an hour, but today I'm letting it go beyond time just so that we can learn and implement so many amazing things that she's sharing with us. So just hang on, she'll be back with us just in another 20-30 seconds. If you have any questions, you can put it across in the comments box, and I'll make sure that I ask her that question. Thank you, Anil. Thank you for all your amazing comments. Thank you so much.
Sorry, sorry.
No, no problem, Anu. Happens.
Yeah.
So, great. So, last question in this round, then we will go to the next short round. That will be just hardly 5-10 minutes. So, do you believe in human limitlessness? And who, according to you, are the people who are limitless?
So, yes, I do believe that there are no limits to our psyche and to what we can achieve and do.
Right,
I've known of people who had tumors, they worked on themselves, tumors have disappeared.
right,
I've known of people who could bend things sitting in one room and not even connecting to the other.
right,
So I have seen those that stuff happening.
Right.
So, yes, there is absolutely limitless. I do not believe that there is anybody special out there who can do something limitless. I believe that there is this whole universe is made up of people which are who are as simple as you and me, and we can do anything that we want to do, provided we can get out of our head
Yes.
and really make it expanded within our head.
True.
So the
True.
real limitlessness starts in our head, not outside. There is
Yes.
nothing outside. It's all that we create inside, and from there things outside appear in front of us.
True, true. It is always said that all the successful people, they first create that success inside their minds, and
Yes,
then later on it just manifests outside. So, so true.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, it's like they build on something, and they build on saying yes to everything because they didn't know how to say a no. It's very important to know how to say a no, but more than saying a no, it's very important to understand that life is stretchable. You can your whole body can become fat like this and can become thin like this. Are we not
Yes.
limitless?
Yes. True.
Oh my
So
god.
true.
उसको बोलो ले जाए पैसे जितने हैं और दे जाए आपको चीज. मैं टीवी पे हूँ. Sorry. There is a delivery boy who's standing outside. I've given money, but after giving money, now it is you give me change. I don't have
Right.
change.
Okay, Anu, we will move on to the next round. And this
Yes.
is a short and sweet round where, just a one word or one liner answers would do. So let's move on. So, Anu, fill in the blanks. Women are
Beautiful.
amazing. What is the one thing that keeps you sane amongst all chaos?
My laughter.
So nice. The most important thing in life is
Family.
yes. What is karma according to you in one line?
Do like someone that you loved did. Karma.
Right.
Do like your mom.
One thing you will never compromise with
With my principles.
your values, your principles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your favorite pastime is
My favorite pastime is sleeping.
same with me. Which person has influenced you the most in life?
My father.
Great. Books or music?
I like music. I like Hindi music. Yeah.
Okay. And if I can ask you maybe one song that stands out for you amongst all?
There are a lot of songs but one song that would stand up right now is um, something that my dad used to sing, uh, and that was um, ये दुनिया अगर मिल भी
क्या
जाए
है
तो
तो
क्या
क्या
है. ये दुनिया अगर मिल भी जाए तो क्या है. He used to sing this even 4 days before he expired. He would sit down and would say, "Papa gana gaoge," and he would sing this song. So it's very
wow,
close to my heart. Very close to my heart.
beautiful, beautiful. If you could equate this whole life to any game which we play in our lives, any game, which one would it be? It's
I think
similar
it
to
would
the
be,
which.
I think it would be similar to uh, the coco that you go and you
खो
kind of
यस,
yes,
खेला है मैंने बचपन में, बहुत खेला है.
बहुत खेला है. And वो line के you continue, you don't stop saying what you have to say. People are pulling you back, but you're still going ahead no
Yes.
matter what you're pulling. And the other one is snakes and ladders. Just when you
Yeah.
feel you've achieved and you reached there, something is going to come back, and maybe something doesn't come back, but there is every possibility that there is nothing called a high or a low. And that's what the snakes and ladders teaches you.
Yes.
I quite like that game when I look at it and I say, oh my God, that's so much like life.
Like life. So true.
Yes.
There's a lot of hidden meaning behind that game. It teaches us a lot.
Yes, it does.
Yes. And the last one, craziest thing that you have done that gave you happiness.
Okay, so I was in San Francisco. I got drunk, and there was a man sitting there who had worn chashma, which was like Gandhi chashma. And I went and told him, ये तो मेरी कंट्री का चश्मा है, मेरे गांधी जी का चश्मा है, वापस दे दे.
Amazing, amazing, Anu. That's so beautiful.
And he laughed and he gave it to me, and I refused to take it off. It's fun sometimes just to be. It's not nice to be serious all the time. Life
Yes, it
itself
is
can
not.
be extremely serious.
Yes, yes. And it's important to do these kind of crazy things once in a while, and just be yourself, not worried about what people will say. And I think, yeah.
अंशु, लोग तो हमेशा कुछ कहेंगे.
Hmm. बिल्कुल.
हमेशा कुछ कहेंगे और कहते चले जाएंगे.
Right.
Are you going to stop living your life because of that?
No, absolutely
Very
not.
simply, if you realize today's show when we were doing, there was this man standing outside who needed money. And he went on, and I'm requesting him, can you come after some time? He didn't listen. And even after getting money, he went on. So, in this chaos, am I going to stop doing what I'm doing?
Right. You can't. You
You
can't.
can't. The life is like this. It will present you with difficult situations, challenging situations. But if you are fixed in your head that you have to complete it, at the end of it, what did I have to tell her? I'd given her 500 bucks and said, okay, fine, give him the change.
Yes.
Let it go. Because it's either this or that. You
Right.
need to always make these choices in your life.
Constantly,
And life goes on.
constantly.
It goes
Yes.
on. There is nothing called perfection. Your life doesn't come with a menu card and you say, okay, now I will order masala dosa for today. आज मैं ये खाऊंगा और आज मुझे ऐसी जिंदगी चाहिए. कल के बाद मैं रानी बन जाऊंगी. ऐसे नहीं होता है. You and I know that life goes on continuously and we are playing roles continuously.
Yes.
And इसी में मजा है.
Yes. So
There
true.
is so much of perfection and imperfection.
It is. There is actually. There is nothing called perfection actually. It's progress. It's constant just evolution and progress, constant learning from the mistakes that we make. Sometimes we make the right choices, sometimes maybe we don't. And we just learn, we keep evolving, keep growing, keep progressing. That's all. There is nothing called perfection.
Yeah, and these places where we make choices, as you very rightly said, Anshu, they're called choice points,
Right?
where there may be more than one choices that you can make.
Yes.
And often that comes in your life, maybe you're standing and at crossroads, as they call it. But these
Hmm.
crossroads are not just two roads, as people say. They could be,
Yes.
it can be on the roundabout, where you're standing
Yes.
right in the middle, and so many roads open up to you. And
Right.
each choice that you take will have a reward and a consequence.
Yes.
But we often take a choice and then regret it rather than using it like a gift. And then we look
Right.
at the choices not made and think of aha moments that we would have had we made those choices. And
Right.
this is what Osho says, that you can't, one choice, one story cannot give you everything. So each one of us is unique. And everything that's coming in our life is unique.
Right.
Why are we wanting security? Why are we wanting to settle down? I often people say शादी हो जाएगी settle हो जाएगी काम कर लेगी settle हो जाएगी. I said, wow man, you only settle when you're dead, and even when you're dead people don't let you settle, they burn you, they bury you. कौन सी
Right.
settle? अगर जिंदगी जीनी है तो मांगो adventure every day. Don't ask
Yes.
to settle down,
Right.
because settle
Absolutely.
down is like sitting in in a car with a seat belt on. There is no adventure in it. You will die in that seat belt, and then you will have to take rebirth again because you didn't even allow yourself to enjoy your
Right.
life.
So true. No, so true. So true. Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you
Lily.
so much, Anu. Any last message that you want to leave the audience with? I think it was an amazing, amazing conversation, Anu. I still don't want to let you go, but I think we have to just go because of time restraints. But any last thing that you want to put across to the audience?
um, there is only one thing that I learned from my dad, and then I feel it's of a massive use. He used to say, there are some relationships in which you make no calculations. हर चीज मैथ्स नहीं है, और दूसरा हर चीज को अधूरा मत छोड़ो. अगर तुम्हें गुस्सा है, you're really angry and you complete it. If you want to reach and become the prime minister of the country, give it your best shot. You want to become Bill Gates, give it your best shot. You want to be Katrina Kaif, give it your best shot. ये आधा कटरीना कैफ, आधा राखी, आधा रेखा, आधा जॉन अब्राहम नहीं चलेगा.
Right.
You need to do what you need to do, and halfway मत छोड़ो कुछ भी. Basically, don't give up.
Yes.
Don't give up, because you might think your life is of no use to someone. You're not talking about people, you're talking about how you see your life. My father sat down in that chair for 9 years, and he was the most useful man in that chair till the last minute of his life.
Wow.
Just because you can't move, just because you can't do, it does not mean you're useless. And he will always be useful in my life.
Beautiful.
My
Beautiful,
mom may
Anu.
sit quiet, but she is useful for me. And if you are useful for someone, उसको ये नाम दे के मत छोड़ दो कि ओ मुझे किसी ने यूज किया है. स्टॉप इट. आप किसी के काम आए हो.
किसी के काम आए आप. True. So true.
आप किसी के काम आए हो. आपके पास कुछ देने के लिए था, तो वो आपसे ले गया.
ले गया. Simple.
चॉइस
कुछ
आपने
था,
की देने की.
एटलीस्ट था आपके पास देने के लिए, तब वो ले गया.
हाँ, अक्सर लोगों के पास कुछ नहीं होता देने को.
राइट.
अपनी सबसे अजीज चीजें लोग लॉकर में बंद करके रख देते हैं. नहीं, आपने अपनी जिंदगी को लॉकर में बंद करके तो नहीं रख दिया. Use it
Point two.
someday.
Beautiful. I loved it. Thank you so much, Anu.
Thank you, Anju. Thank you, and sorry
Thank
for
you.
getting up in the middle. And sorry for raising my voice. I just didn't know what was happening. Thank you so much. Really.
Thank you. And we'll meet again probably after the 100th episode of the show. We will
Of
again meet
course.
and we will talk more.
This is for
Thank you,
you.
Anu.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you. Bye bye and good night.
Good night.
Hey, lovely people. So, I hope today's conversation has already blown your mind, and there is so much, so much, so much to take away from this. If you could not get the gist of the whole conversation, I would say watch it again and again till you get because there's so much that you need to take away with you, and there is so much that you can actually implement in your life. And maybe you might have gotten answers to a lot of long pending questions that you had in your mind. So pick your, choose whatever, questions you had, whatever answers you got. And I leave you with God bless you and have a great week ahead. And I hope your Diwali celebration preparations are going all in full zoom. So all the best for that. We will meet up next again with another phenomenal guest. Take care. Bye bye.